Hi everyone, David here with a very quick guide on our rain probability app template. I'm gonna explain how it works and we'll show you how you can make some modifications to it to fit your specific use case. This is a cron job that is running once a day and it checks for the weather in your location. More specifically, it will check for the maximum probability of rain for that specific day. Yeah, and if we have a look at the top action block, we can see that it's currently set for 8 a.m. Every day in New York time zone. So depending on your location, you might want to change the time zone of the default template, and you can also change the time of the day. You can also say, okay, I only want to be notified on specific days or in specific months. So you can really tailor it to your preferences. What happens here is that every day then we send an HTTP request to openmedio.com. I'm going to show you their website real quick. It's a weather forecast API and they offer lots of customizations. What we did, this is not the exact endpoint that we have in the template, but I think we did something like precipitation probability and we changed to only checking once a day, but you can visit their docs and you will see that there are all sorts of things that you can do. We specifically just get a weather forecast for one day and we are mainly looking at the max probability of rain. So let's have a closer look at the specific endpoint. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. We're going to see a couple of different things. On one hand, we see latitude and longitude, and this is for New York. So what you want to do, wherever you are in the world, let's say you are in Berlin, you visit the documentation of this website. We also linked it in the docs for this template. You will visit it, and let's say you are in Berlin. Then you will select this, and then you can just copy paste the latitude and longitude for that location. And you will replace the values here with the values that you received from openmedio.com. There's nothing else that you need to change if you want to use the API that we've built here. You can see we are running a daily precipitation probability forecast is this. So you ultimately are able to change this, but you don't have to. It's enough if you just change latitude and longitude. For that matter. Then after we will check the probability and then execute different messages and alerts. Before we hop into that, let's just send a test request and see the current weather forecast. Yeah. So I'm going to test the workflow and let's dive into what happened here exactly. So got triggered, we sent the HTTP request, and this is the output that we received from OpenMedio. And what we are interested in is the probability max right here, and we see a 61. So for the current day, if you look at all of the probabilities throughout this day, 61 is the highest probability for New York to receive rain. And we built a little switch condition to give us different alerts for different probabilities. And what we said is, okay, in case the probability is over 75%, we consider that to be extremely likely or very likely. The ping is going to be, it's likely to be raining today, bring an umbrella. Yeah. If it's larger than 50 but lower than 75, we will say, okay, there's an over 50% chance. So you might want to bring one, but it's up to you, but you probably should. And if it's above 30 but below 30, we're going to say, okay, there's a small chance it's going to rain today. So up to you what you want to do. Yeah. And if the probability is below 30, the default here, the default of the switch condition will be activated, and we will just return a success message which will say channel not pinged, rain too unlikely. So if this cron job then runs at 8 a.m. or at whatever time you choose, and the probability is low, you will not receive a ping. Yeah? And what we're doing in here is that we're checking for steps.getRain probability outputs. And this right here is, if we hop into the debug mode and we check the output data, is this right here. So steps.getRain probability.outputs.body .daily.this. And then right here we have the result. And the switch condition will always be executed from left to right. Yeah. So That's why we're putting the 75 first. Yeah, so the switch condition will always check the first case, then the second, and then the third. So if it's 78, for example, both case 2 and 3 would also be true, but since we're checking case 1 first, excuse me, this ping will then be executed. Yeah. If you want to have a little less complexity and you don't really care about different messages, what you can do is that you just put in an if condition and you say, okay, I just want to be notified if it's above 50%, the rain probability. Yeah. So let's do that. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to say, okay, if the probability is larger than 50, I want to have this ping. I'm going to send it here. Otherwise, it's all good. And I'm going to delete the switch condition for now. Yeah. I have to give it a name, check rain. And I'm going to instant deploy it. So we can now hop to our debug mode and send another test. And it's going to ping the channel because it is currently at 61%. And so yeah, that is how you can modify it. Don't forget to update this request URL unless you are also New York. Then obviously no need to, and you can just use it from the get-go. Let us know if you have any questions. Join our community Slack. And yeah, happy building. Bye-bye.